Hello viewers, I'm Chris. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate to you how to migrate database from on-prem SQL Server to Azure SQL Database using Data Migration Assistant and SQL Server Management Studio. So the first step we need to take is to carry out a data assessment using DMA, Data Migrating Assistant, and this ensures that there is no compatibility issue. After that, we will now use Data Migrating Assistant to migrate the database to the cloud. That's Azure SQL Server Database Cloud. That's the first demonstration I'm going to do. The second demonstration is that after the assessment, I will also use SQL Server Management Studio to do the migration. So I have two tasks I want to perform in this video. We can also use DMS, Data Migration Service, and Data Duplication Tool. So these other two, I will cover them in my next video. Without further ado, let's get started. The first thing we need to do is to install Data Migration Assistant. All you need to do is just go to browser, type Data Migration Assistant, download it, and install the app. Very easy to do. Now, once you do that, like I have done already, so if I go to this is my Data Migration Assistant, click New. We have two options here. We have assessment, we have migration. So, like I said earlier on, we will use this platform to do the assessment. I put in my project name, assessment type, I leave it. SQL Server is the source server type, and target server type is Azure SQL Database. So I click Create. So I click Next to start my assessment. Check database compatibility and check feature parity. So I click Next. To connect to the server I want to do the assessment, so I have to connect to it. I go to my SQL Server, click on this. This is the server name. Authentication type, I use SQL authentication type. Username is SA, so I put in my password. I click Connect. Connect to a server and select sources. In this case, I want to do assessment on this database, Superstore. I select it, click Add. I click Start Assessment. The assessment is going on. As you can see, there is no feature parity issue with this server instance. There's no issue for SQL Server feature parity. So let me click compatibility issue. So I've selected compatibility issue. There's no compatibility issue with your database. So these two things have been done to confirm that our data is ready for uploading. So the next thing I need to do now is to click Upload to Azure, connect to Azure. So the Azure environment, yes. So I click Connect. I select Migration. What's the name? The source server type, SQL. Target server type, Azure SQL. Migration scope. Here I'm going to select both schema and data. So I leave it as it is. I click Create. Now connect to source server. That's the server name. Authentication, SQL Server authentication. Username, SA. This is my username. I put in the password. I click Connect. Since I have done the assessment, so I select my database. My database is Superstore. So I click Next. connect to target server, the server name. This is my server name. Authentication type SQL Server authentication. This is my username. So let me put in my password. So I click connect. I'll select the database in which you want to connect. Let me go to SQL Server and create a new database. I'm in Azure SQL Server. So let me create a database. I click create a database. So I'll carry out the necessary configurations. Superstore. Review and create. I click create. As you can see, my new database has been created. Superstore_DMA. So let me go to the data migration assistant. I should be able to see my new database here. So let me refresh. Click connect. Fantastic. As you can see, this is my new database. I select it. I click next. All right. These are the tables. I'm going to load all the tables. I click generate SQL script. This is the script generated. I can copy this generated script, run it on the SQL Server to deploy the schema. But let me do it here. So I click deploy schema. As you can see, it's executing. So it has deployed the schema. Let me migrate data. So I click on it. So these are my schema and the table. Everything seems to be okay. I click start data migration. We have 7 objects running. So the 7 of them are successful. Let me go to Azure Database. So if I click on SQL Database, this is my database. I click on it. I click on Query Editor. Sign in. Click on Tables. These are my tables. All my tables have appeared. I've successfully loaded this using Data Migration Assistant. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is to migrate the database using SQL Server Management Studio. I've done that using Data Migrating Assistant, just to demonstrate that there are many options in which you can use to achieve the same purpose. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, here I did an assessment on Superstore database. I'm still going to use that Superstore database to do migration using SQL Server Management Studio. So this is my SQL Server Management Studio. This is my database Superstore. So I right click it, go to task, go to deploy database to Microsoft Azure SQL Database. So I click on this. I click next. Specify target connection. So let me specify target connection. Let me select the target connection here. So this is the target connection. Put the password. I click connect. This is my server target connection. Azure SQL Server name. A new database name. Superstore. I'm using SQL Server Management Studio. So I say Management Studio SSMS. I'm using basic. The database I'm using basic. This is the temporary file location. So everything is set. I click next. Now verify specify settings. This is the source. Yes. The database is Superstore. The size. The target. This is the target. So everything is in order. So I click finish. As you can see, it's extracting the information. As you can see, operation completed. Everything is successful. So let me go to my Azure SQL Server, that's a cloud, and check whether what we did here reflected. So this is my Azure Server database. As you can see, this is the Superstore SMSS, the one we just created. So let me click on this, click on Query Editor, click OK. Alright, if I go to Tables, you can see the tables. Select top 1000. I run the query, I click Run. As you can see, these are the information. So that's it, guys, for this video. If this video is helpful to you, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button so that you can be duly notified whenever I release video. Don't forget to share my videos. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video.